And was it Eucerin who asked about hyaluronic acid?
Yes, it was.
Okay, yeah, I thought, well, we can go into all the pH balance of the skin and everything as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, and Lynn, you received the loose eyeshadows and you were fine with them.
Yes, yes, I'm fine with them. They're lovely.
Good, good. Yeah, I try to figure out the best color for you.
Yes, I like the purple rain.
Yeah, that's a popular one.
I like that one. It seems to. I like them both, but I like that best. It seems better.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow with my brush, where the other I don't know how to explain it. It's not as together, if you know what I mean.
Well, what we usually do, I do an eye primer. So I have an eye primer that you pat on first of all. If you see one of my videos, you'll see you pat it on first, and it's specific for loose mineral eyeshadows.
Right.
It makes the eyeshadows stick, and it also makes them come out a little bit more intense, just like pressed eyeshadows.
Yeah. Right. Yes, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you put on like a concealer, kind of a cream concealer kind of idea on first, just pat it on, then put your eyeshadow on, and then it'll come out a little bit more stronger and it'll stay on easier.
Yeah.
And the trick also with mineral eyeshadows is to put your eyeshadow on before you put the rest of your makeup on, if you put any other makeup on. Because you do get little flecks coming down here. There's no way around it. Well, I'm a klutz, so I always get it. So I always put my makeup on first, and then I clean up underneath with a little bit of cream underneath my eyes. And then I apply any blush or any foundation if I want to.
So I've got the purple rain on.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
I've got, you can't really see, I don't think.
A little bit. It's not very close. Yeah, it's very delicate on you.
It doesn't fall on my glasses, because a lot did. The one that used to irritate me, that used to fall on my glasses. What do you know? You end up all his specs. It's not fun.
Yeah, no, that's why pressed eyeshadow is better, but it's difficult when you're hand pressing something to send it where it doesn't break on in transit. Right. So that's the problem with pressed eyeshadows. I do them, and I do send them, and I put them into coin cases. So I do them as refills. Yes. So you can put them into like a magnet tray.
Right.
And
do you sell them separate, Jan, or do you sell them as a twin?
I sell them separate.
Separate.
And I sell the individual palettes too. So I do them as a separate items, because as I said, to send them, we have to send them. So you can't send them as a palette, otherwise they break too easily. Right. So I send them individually. Then you have to get a little. I sell an individual, like a pod. That you can pop it into. Or I sell a 6. It's a magnetic tray that holds 6 eyeshadows, up to 6, and then you can just refill. Basically, the idea is refilling, and it's a paper.
I'll have a look. Yeah.
And but I have to send it in a coin. I've got a little plastic coin thing that I put it into, and that way I know that it comes in.
I see. Yeah. My last this is a different iPad I've got. I've just got it this week. My other iPad, it went kaput. It was a bit old, and the home button broke on it, and I couldn't use it.
Oh, okay.
So I got another one. So it's my first time using it.
Oh.
So.
Well, I don't know what happened to the rest of the group, but we'll start. No, there was a whole pile of people who said, "Oh, I want to join. Would you want to join?" But that's okay, and I'll keep going until we get a really good group, strong group.
You find it though, don't you? A lot of people say they're going to, but they don't.
Yeah, well, sometimes with Zoom, as you know, you can get your time mixed up.
Yes, like me, you mean.
Yeah. And of course, difficulty signing in, thinking you've got to remember your password and everything else. So it's tricky.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with Serene. Serene, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, you just went. Yeah, so you were asking about pH, the skin. So what sort of questions do you want to ask about pH balance of the skin? You're formulating products.
I haven't started yet, but I'm going to.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told that if the water portion is less,
Mm-hmm.
or there is a certain proportion, maybe 20-80 or 30-70,
Mm-hmm.
then one doesn't need to worry about mold, etc. And yet one can manage the pH to be within the range of 4.5 to 5.5.
Yeah.
And is that the right one?
Yeah, you want it to be slightly acidic. So the balance is
Are you recording? You're recording it for us,
I'm
right?
recording
Yes.
it, yes. Yeah.
Perfect. So slightly acidic.
Yeah, so the neutral is 7, which is
Oh.
the same as distilled water.
Okay.
And as soon as you add, now you were asking about hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is a little bit on the more alkaline side.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't suggest adding more than 4% of hyaluronic acid into your products if you're adding to your product.
4%?
Maximum, yeah. It's too alkaline. The same as soap is 12, which is very alkaline. Soapy soap and liquid soaps as well. They're very alkaline, which is why they clean. So what they do, the reason why you like to look at pH balance is the pH balance of your skin. If you have a slightly acidic range, it will keep the microbes, basically the good microbes, onto your skin. So you want the microbes to stay alive. Your
Right.
call it let me think how I wrote this down, the microfilm that you have. So you need, so as soon as you wash your face with soap, which is a pH balance of approximately 12, it's extremely alkaline, it washes away all the bacteria and microfilm on your skin, from your skin, which is
that is instant. That is instant because we don't keep the soap on. We apply it and we rinse off immediately. And in that time, it can do the damage.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So it's not that soap is so bad. I mean, there's different variations. Of course, if you applied sodium hydroxide, which is the or lye is the other common name, straight onto your skin, it would burn your skin away completely. But I mean, I like soap. I like it better than, especially soap that I make myself, as opposed to soap that you buy in the store, which has other chemicals in as well. But the problem is, I've never used, actually, since I was a kid, I've never used soap on my skin, on my facial skin. But I have used it on my body. I do use it on my body. If you do want to use something that is alkaline forming on your skin, it's very important to immediately use a stronger acid version, which is why apple cider vinegar is so good for the skin. So what they do when you wash your hair, say with soap, if you use bar soap to wash your hair, it'll be too alkaline and your hair will basically, it's not good for the hair. So that's why they suggest using a vinegar wash afterwards to balance up, but it will still wash away some of the bacteria. Now, at some level, it is necessary if you've got harmful bacteria on your skin, as in some skin problems that are caused by harmful bacteria. That's why some of the products for cleansing oily skin and acne-prone skin have what their version is, and Clinique was very bad at that, was basically washing away all the bacteria. So Clinique, for example, used to sell their tonic water used to contain acetone.
Ah,
Still fairly recently. And so it was very, the idea then, and I know this from the 70s, was if you had oily skin, you would scrub away you do scrubs, you'd clean your skin so that because the idea is you felt you were dirty because of the spots and the blackheads and things like that. And I fell into that trap when I was in my teens too. You know, I would use these very strong toning lotions and be thinking that would be the way to get rid of excess oil and spots when you're a teenager. Of course, I found out afterwards what happened was it just dried the skin right out, got rid of the good bacteria as well. And then you end up with very dry skin because you're dehydrated and flaky skin. And your body then starts to produce more oil to try and balance up again. So you end up with more oil, dry skin, dehydrated skin, and so on. So you end up with a really an imbalance in your skin, and it takes some time to correct it. So I've gone completely since the 80s into the complete opposite way round, and I don't even prefer. I like to use scrubs on my skin, and I don't even suggest scrubs.
I don't either.
I sell them because people have been asking for them, but I personally find that people have a tendency to be, when they even use the scrub, even if the scrub is pH balanced and everything else, and you've got little walnut chips in them, people tend to scrub away and rubbing at the skin, and it causes, it just doesn't do the skin any good whatsoever. And it's not necessary either. The skin itself is self-regulating if your diet is correct. For pH balancing your products, you need to look at the pH balance of each of the items that you're adding to your cream or lotion. So as I said, hyaluronic acid is slightly alkaline, more alkaline than you want. So you need to balance up with some more stronger acid products in your product. So rose water, for example, is 3 point something. A lot of the hydrosols and hydrolates are slightly acidic. So that will help if you add those to your products.
Excellent information. So talking about, sorry, go ahead. Did you want to say something?
No.
Okay. So I had a question. People recommend Dr. Bronner's soap. They say that it's the gentlest, most soothing, most unharmful soap.
Yeah.
And so what I've been doing is I've been taking about 40% to 60% either tap water or alkaline water from my filter, and then putting it in a pump so that I get that frothy stuff.
Yeah.
And I've been using that in all my bathrooms, and I sometimes will wash my face with it. Is that a bad thing if I've diluted it?
It's still going to have a slightly alkaline thing on your face. So if you do, it's not that it's so bad. It's as you said, it's a cleaner agent than most liquid soaps. At least it doesn't have sodium lauryl sulfate in or any sulfates in it. But I would still, afterwards, you need to put something like rose water on your face or any floral water, the pure hydrolates or hydrosols, as opposed to floral waters, just to balance up, or a toning lotion that you've made.
Right. Yeah. And then do we leave them on, or do we wash those off after 5 minutes or something?
Well, you just wipe them. What
clean.
I do, I just put a bit of toning lotion on a cotton wool pad. Of course, I haven't made my own toning lotion using, now I'm using Immortelle water at the moment. Floral water is even more alkaline than rose water is.
I see.
So even more acidic than rose water is. And I just put the pure, I'm just putting the pure hydrosol on damp cotton wool. I've usually dampened the cotton wool first of all, just because
So it doesn't absorb too much of the hydrosol.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I do that too.
I damp it first, then I put it there on, and then I wipe over my face, and I leave it. I don't wash it off. I leave it on.
Okay.
And then I usually put my moisture in the morning. I do this in the morning. I usually do that. Then I put my moisture cream on straight afterwards. And my moisture cream is acidic. So that will, again, that has the effect of, and I just leave that all on.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another thing, you were asking about hyaluronic acid as well, Serene.
Yes.
Is that how you say your name?
Cyrene.
Yeah, Serene, yeah.
Cyrene.
Cyrene? Serene?
Cyrene. Why? Hi.
Okay. Is the molecules is very hard to get into your skin. So if you're putting hyaluronic acid into a product, you want to make sure that it's a very light product. In other words, most of the time it needs to be a water-based product, not an oil-based product, because it won't be absorbed. It'll just stay on the surface.
I see.
So frankly, it's no use putting into an ointment. It's no use putting into a rich cream.
Okay.
Can I put it? Can you put it in? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go on then.
Can I put this hyaluronic acid? Can it be used in? Excuse me. Can it be added to your cream that I make up?
Yeah. If as long as it's a light cream, so you want it to be more of a lotion based rather than a heavy cream. Because otherwise it's not going to go penetrate the skin at all. It's just going to stay nicely on the surface. It'll still be good. It'll still keep the moisture, but you can do that with any rich product anyway. You don't need to add extra hyaluronic acid for that. It's wasting it. So it needs to be a very light, almost like a lotion-based cream.
Yeah.
Which is more water-based.
How much do you put in?
No more than 4%. I would suggest around 2%.
3%.
2% maximum.
2%.
Yeah.
All right.
It can irritate the skin if you put it in too high a quantity. I was trying it myself out a few years back, almost 100%, and it was starting to irritate my skin. So I realized the optimum dose is around 4%.
Okay.
So Jan, what I do is I found that the powder is very economical to purchase at my store.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get 15 grams for $55, and I would say that that's a good price.
Yeah.
Compared to what the lotions which are prepared cost.
Yes.
And so I mix it with aloe vera, the drinking aloe vera, which is supposed to be good for the stomach, which is very liquid. It's not the thick gel.
Mm-hmm.
And then I let it sit for about 20-30 minutes. And if it's dissolved, it becomes gel-like. So then I apply that. But I don't weigh anything. Should I be really mindful of the proportion?
Yeah, I think if you, in that basis, it will be absorbed easier because it's already in a water-based product.
Correct.
And the aloe vera itself is, I think, slightly acidic when it's made that way. I mean, I'd have to check. But the thing is to go on your own skin. How's it feel on your skin? What's it look like?
Very drying. So then an occlusive, oily something is required. And definitely for some weeks after that, because this is a treatment I don't do daily. Mm-hmm. It's once a month or once in 2 weeks max.
Yeah.
Then a lot of oil-based products on a damp skin need to go. Because this dries out the skin. It's as if it's parched and sucked out all the liquid.
That's what I found with hyaluronic acid.
Yes.
So what I do, I mix it, for example, with my seaweed extract. And it's usually just a few drops to, it'd be a few grains of if it was a powder, to the seaweed extract. So it's a similar thing to what you're doing with aloe vera gel, basically, the liquid.
Okay.
The advantage of the seaweed extract is that it's got already a natural preservatives in there as well. So I don't have to add any extra preservatives, so nothing goes off. Now, when I just have it as a few drops, it doesn't dry out your skin at all.
Right.
I don't know if that is also the function of the seaweed itself, which also is not drying. It's also nourishing. So I'm not sure if it's because I've added it to the seaweed that I don't have that effect.
Right.
If I make a serum, which is a lot of hyaluronic acid in it, then then it really irritates my skin and dries it out. So if you want to put it into a you know, putting it on and then putting cream on top, I don't think is really the answer. I think it's best to mix it make it in the right proportion in the first place, into a into a light lotion. But you will need then to add, as I said, I put it plain in my seaweed gel or extract, and then I put it on like that.
I see. So the seaweed extract goes neat onto your skin.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah, I use it I actually put it in a roll-on serum.
Okay.
And I put say a 10 ml roll-on serum. I use the seaweed extract around 9 ml, and then about a ml of the made hyaluronic acid. Of course, you can put a few grains in. It's, you know, either or works. And then I put my essential oil in, of course, because I'm using it around the eyes. I only use like 1 drop of each essential oil in that 10 ml, because it's quite strong. That would be quite strong. And then I'm able to use it around my eye. I'm able to use it all over my face. And then I still use a cream on top of my face. Hi, there's somebody else trying to get in there. Hi.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so that's the way I have done it, and that seems to work for me. If you're on about not putting any preservatives in your, hello Christine. Okay, she's disconnecting now. So I would personally, obviously you were talking about adding no preservatives to your products. If it's mostly oil and wax in your product, and it's just a little bit of water, you're okay. You don't need to add any preservatives, because there won't be enough room for any bacteria, so any mold to grow. But as soon as you add over a certain amount of water, you're going to need to put something in. But the trick of the thing is, if you can test your products, I think you can get mold testing devices. I'm not bothered because I find I've never really had a problem. But there are natural preservatives out there that seem to work, like Lucidal is superb for that, Lucidal Max. It works on the premise that it's a bacterium itself, and it stops it keeps the good bacteria, but stops the bad bacteria from forming. So it works bacteria against bacteria, basically.
Okay.
So you're not raging a war on bacteria and mold. What you're doing is you're living with it.
Yeah.
Hi, Christine. Hi, Christine. Okay, she's not there. Hi, Christine. Oh no. Okay. Hi. Where are you?
Can you hear me?
From? Yes, I can. Where are you from?
I'm in New York, upstate New York.
Okay. So we have
I am coming in late. My apologies. And you may have answered this question already. And I'm actually looking in my refrigerator because I got a preservative from you years ago that worked like a charm. And I'm trying to remember the name of it because I haven't been able to find it. Was it GeoGuard? Yes, yeah, GeoGuard Ultra. Do you still make that? Do you still make it?
Yes, and we're able to sell it. I sell it in a bottle that goes into a package that can go through a letterbox. So it's a bottle.
Excellent.
And so I can send it as a, so I can send up to
Flat.
250 ml. I've got very flat, big bottles now that can literally fit into a box that can go as as a letter mail, up to
Wow.
2 kilograms.
Excellent.
So
That was-
shipping is dirt
was
cheap. If you buy like if you buy a 250 ml, if you want to buy that much, it's basically send it for €9.
Excellent. I can get that on your website.
That's correct. Yes.
I did order. It was your name, but it was through, I don't know if it was Amazon, and it was a powder. And I don't think I calculated it right, because when I made it, it was too harsh for me. My husband's using it on his hands, and I'm like, I just want to get what I used to have. So I honestly didn't
What did
see
you
that
get?
on
What
your
did you get
site, but
on
I
Amazon?
will order that because with a powder. I've got everything in this refrigerator. I hope that I'm not on video because my hair is all wet and I just got out of the
You're
shower.
not on video.
And I
You
don't look like I use
can't
any
see
products
you.
at the
Don't worry.
moment. Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm just running late. Oh my God, I wish I remember what that is. I can't remember. I'll let you know when I order. I'll put a little note in there.
Okay.
It just didn't work. I don't think I calculated it right, but I do love your products. I learned a lot from a book that you had out. I'm going back about, oh my gosh, 10 to 12 years. And I actually am organic, and I made body products and I sell them at the farmer's market, and they were a hit.
Nice.
I retired from the market. But I still got a lot of orders for that. And I have been hesitant because I didn't find the right preservative. So I will definitely order. I do homestead, and I love the value added products because I'm very small, and I have goats, so I make goat milk product. Actually, I made a lotion with your preservative using goat milk. And it worked for the goat milk, which was so amazing. Yeah, you're fantastic. So I'll let someone else talk now, but I really do love you. And I'm so glad that you're doing this. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, and have very merry holidays, and I will get in touch with you.
Okay, beautiful. So we have here Serene from Calgary and Lynn from UK. So you can all say hi to each other.
Hi.
Yeah, so we were talking about pH balance of the skin and using hyaluronic acid on the skin, and when you're making products, how to make sure that the products that you have are correct for your skin. And I didn't do this last time, but I will post this video to the people who are like in this group. So it won't be up for general. It won't be on for general look at so everyone else can see it. It'll just be for people who are like my students, basically, because I find it's useful information for them. And we had quite a lot of information already about the pH balance. You might want to look back at the video when it's produced, Christine, later on.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Do you have any more questions, Christine? Anything else that you'd like to discuss?
No, I actually have to. Sorry.
Okay. What about you, Lynn? You have any questions?
No, well, I did wonder how makeup was made.
Oh, how makeup was made. Okay. Let's find out. There's somebody else joining us now, finally, so that we're getting more people on here, which is great. Yeah, so makeup, what sort of makeup are you looking at?
Well, it's the eye makeup. The
eye makeup?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, generally speaking, the way I made your mineral eyeshadow, and I do have a book, how to make your own eye makeup book. It's very simple to do. It's mainly, it's getting the powders right, not the color, but the powders that make sure that your eye makeup will stick onto your eyelid as opposed to just falling about everywhere.
Right.
You can get all these pretty colors like micas and what have you, colored micas, and they look great. But if you try to put them on your eyelid, they wouldn't stay there at all. So you need to add them to a what I call a base ingredient. So, for example, the base powders I tend to use is things like magnesium stearate. Zinc oxide is really good because it's very sticky. And then you also want to make sure that it goes on smoothly as well. So it's to stick on the eyelid and to go on, and also to smoothly go on as well. So when you're making any makeup, whether it be foundations or blushes or eyeshadows, the key is in the basic powders.
All right.
So in my foundation, I use rice powder, but it's cosmetic grade rice powder. In other words, it's made very fine, and it's also been deodorized, so it doesn't have an odor of rice in it. And that makes a very nice flow onto the skin.
All right.
Things like the zinc for the stickiness. Then you can add silica for smoothness and silkiness to the skin. Kaolin clay is wonderful. And then once you've made the powders, the white powders, then you add like the colors to it.
Yeah. Right.
And then you've got your mineral eyeshadow or your mineral blusher. And then in order to make a liquid or a cream, you would basically make for an say for an eye cream or a concealer, you would make an ointment base, which is the same as making an ointment for skincare, whether it be a lip balm. And you would then add your pigment, your finished pigment, to the waxes and oils. And then you have yourself anything like a lipstick, for example, is basically an ointment, a lip balm with color in. And then for liquid, you're making basically simpler. It's not quite as simple as this, but you're basically making a lotion the same way as making a lotion for your body, or cream or cleansing lotion, and you're adding the mineral makeup to the lotion, and you've got yourself a liquid foundation.
Oh,
It's so it's not quite as simple as that, but that's the basics of making a makeup. So Roxanne, are you there? I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself if you can. Welcome, Roxanne.
I'm here, but I'm actually at work and I didn't want to miss, so.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah.
Or anything like that, I muted.
Do you have any questions? Any specific questions you would like answering?
As we go along, if there's anything, I'll put it out there.
Yeah, we had earlier on talking about pH balance of the skin and pH balance of products. So I will send you a video link once we've finished.
Oh, okay, that's great.
So you can get that information.
And you'll start recording, right? Because I missed the first part.
Yeah, and that was all about hyaluronic acid and pH balance.
Okay,
of the skin.
perfect.
Okay. Serene, do you have any more questions about pH balance?
No. I think you've been very, very helpful. I'm going to look into your seaweed, because that is something that and the last call that I was on, you had mentioned that it has a lot of penetration possibilities. So is the seaweed able to penetrate the dermal layers better than other products?
It seems to. It's of course the minerals and the algae itself, the extract, which seems to penetrate. It acts basically, it's like a tincture.
I see.
So you get the properties of the algae or the seaweed going into the skin. The skin seems to absorb what it needs to absorb. So because it has such good penetration properties, when you add the hyaluronic acid, which doesn't have good penetration possibilities unless you inject it.
Right.
And the stuff they inject is actually not good hyaluronic, so it doesn't even dissolve. It stays in the skin. It's stored in the muscle. It's not a good product at all. The stuff that they inject into the skin. But your natural hyaluronic acid that you put on into a product. It has to go into a product that is going to penetrate easily into the skin in order to be able to get in.
Correct. Yes.
Otherwise, it's just going to sit on the surface. It will absorb moisture, which is okay. So it will act as a moisture barrier, but you don't need it for that reason. So
Right.
I wouldn't add hyaluronic acid to a heavy cream or an ointment.
Right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, because it's also water soluble, of course, so it's not oil soluble. And
Mhm.
if you're putting it on with something and you're getting your skin dried and you're putting oil on afterwards, I think you're kind of defeating the object, you're defeating the idea actually a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And if nobody has a question, but I think Christine does,
Yeah.
so I'll go after her.
Hi, Christine.
Hi, I am back. Sorry, I don't know what happened, but I do have and you may have answered this one too. I'm running late and I'm multitasking, so I would love to listen to this again in quiet time. Will there be a replay?
Yes, I'm going to send the people who've participated a copy of the video or access to the video. Because there's a lot of
Excellent.
good information here,
you.
and I'm probably going to share it with some of my students as well, because it answers some of their questions as well.
Excellent.
I'm not going to
Thanks,
put it
Jan.
on. I'm not going to put it on YouTube for the world to see.
I don't blame you. You should make money at this. You should. It's all for the righteous good of healthy skin.
Yes, but I don't want. It's not fair on you guys when you've if you want to keep yourself quiet, because we're not always the best dressed and the best on our Zoom sessions.
Like right now for me, oh my goodness gracious. And when I came back on, I think it was me. I'm like, oh my God, I got to take it off real quick. Oh dear, thank you.
Yeah, it takes a while to get used to this. It's funny. So yeah, so now we'd like to resume, Serene?
Yes, so my question was that I was looking into something to stimulate collagen in my skin over the big sales that we had for Thanksgiving, for US Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the products was a stamping machine with holes that goes all over your skin,
Mm-hmm.
holes literally with heavy needles, and then you kind of apply whatever lotion or
Yes.
intensive you want to apply.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is that's really destroying your skin barrier,
Yeah.
and it's a big no to artificially do that.
I
To the
think
degree-
so. I
Yeah.
think so, but at the same time, I used to do electrolysis, where you put a needle into the
Yes.
skin and remove and destroy the root of a hair, and then then the hair comes out, and
Yes.
over time you eventually don't have any hair growing. And I also used to do treatments where, the little red veins on your face, I used to cauterize them because you weren't actually penetrate, so we're making little tiny holes. And I had a couple of people who had a few little wrinkles, and I think one day one of the little red veins she had on her face was right near a wrinkle. So it's very surface. It's like you put the needle right on the edge of the surface and cauterize, because doesn't actually penetrate in. It's right on the surface, and as soon as you do it, it goes away. The little red vein does. It's the only way to really get rid of them. Now they use laser, but I actually prefer the needle because there's less damage to the overall skin, because you're actually being precise to the actual area. But what I did notice is when I actually put the needle just on the surface of a wrinkle, say a little wrinkle here, that the skin would suddenly plump up, and it seemed to stay that way, which was kind of interesting. And I think what I was doing was obviously it was irritating the area, which is what these things do.
Right.
And it seemed to help with wrinkles, but of course that was just one little area. You're not going over the whole face
Exactly.
So I think if you do it occasionally, like with micro needling, I can see why that would work, because I've seen what it can do. But I think if you do it on too regular a basis, it can cause more harm than good. The same way as exercise, bodybuilding with weights, if you do it once, like 2 or 3 times a week, it causes strain on your muscles and causes the muscles to get stronger and your bones to get stronger. So you're actually adding tension and pressure on the area, damaging actually the muscles. And then the muscles kind of say, oh, I better get to work here. So it makes everything stronger. The same thing with your skin. If you do slightly damage it, like actually going in the sun a little bit, I'm not talking about sunburning, but a little bit of sun, this does the same thing. These collagen lamps, they do the same thing. They actually cause a mild irritation to the skin, and then the skin reacts by producing more collagen. So I, for example, use a collagen light for that reason. But if you go on too often, you go on for an hour, 2 hours at a time, you're going to cause more damage than good.
I see.
So the problem with these devices is that if people are going to get a little bit too addicted to them and start using them too often, that's the problem.
I see. And I also do have one of those devices. I use it once every 6 months, and then for 3 hours, I'm sitting in front of the telly with this thing moving, and then it's packed up for another 6 months. So the book does say shorter, sessions more often is better.
Yes, yeah, because what you want is that's why when I discovered this little thing, this was back in the 80s, before anybody thought about putting these needles in the skin, and I was doing and a couple of my customers said, oh, can you get rid of this wrinkle too, and can you get rid of this wrinkle too? And it was almost like retraining the skin a little bit, not to wrinkle up in that spot, so you get it to expand, say that little wrinkle here, and then it stays up, and then the skin kind of stops, a bit like Botox, I suppose, in a way, like more
plumper, it becomes
stronger,
kind of.
So I think the jury's out on that one, where if it's just a fad, or whether it helps or not, but too much is not good.
Right. So I passed it out because I knew that if I bought it, it would be heavily used. I have a very heavy hand. I can't do anything lightly. I need to. So I said, I'll give that a miss, and I'll just use the derma roller as and when I want to. Yeah.
The other thing that's quite useful is you can get these, you can use like a marble wand, and put it in the freezer and make it really cold. And then in the morning, roll that over your face.
Wow.
You can make your own. You can even use a spoon that's been put in the freezer, for example. And you just take out the spoon, and of course, make it sure it's warm enough so it's not sticking to your face. And then you roll that on the back of a spoon on your skin, and that kind of firms the skin up as well.
I see. So that would be before the lotions and all go on?
Yeah.
First thing in the morning.
And the ice cold really helps to firm the skin. And it also adds a slightly, again, stress to the skin. Then it gets stronger. And then you put your toning lotion on, then your creams on afterwards, and then you've got a nice glowing morning skin.
I see. And would that be the same for the hair? Is everything we do for the skin good for the hair?
Yeah, I usually have a cold shower every morning.
Right.
And I wash even if I use warm shower at the beginning, so I don't always, but if I use a warm shower to wash my hair, then I always finish, I put it straight onto cold.
Yes.
On my hair, and then the hair becomes really silky soft afterwards.
Yes.
Because it closes up all the
pores.
The pores, yeah. And it wakes you up. You get quite addicted to it after a while.
Yes.
I have a question about
hair as well. I have a friend who's taken some medication and her hair is getting really brittle.
Mm-hmm.
Is there
The best
anything
thing-
that can help with that you
Yeah,
know of?
taking liquid silicone and silica, not silicone, liquid silica. Liquid silica. You can buy it very cheaply, I think even at Costco. But it's a liquid silica, and you just take it as per the regulations. So you can also buy silica. It's if you buy any hair, skin, and nail formulas, they all usually contain silica and zinc. But liquid silica is the quickest and best way of repairing the hair and skin. I put silica in my creams and lotions, for example, as well. And I have it in my skincare products. So I'm always putting silica on my face, but I also take the liquid silica internally.
So you take the
Wow.
liquid silica for your hair internally, not put it on your hair.
Yeah, I take it internally.
Okay.
And there's some really, you just have to look it up on the market.
Is there any brands you would suggest, or?
Where are you again?
I'm in Canada, in Newfoundland.
That's right. Yeah. I don't know if I know the branches in Holland at the moment. There's something called Pure Sil, but I don't know if that is in Canada. It's a Pure Sil liquid. But you can look up online. There's so much there, and just see what you want to get it from is from natural sources if possible, like that's extracted from horsetail. The herb horsetail is high in silica. So if you look for a liquid silica that is made from natural sources like horsetail, that would be your best bet. Yeah, I think she's offline. She's not offline, but she's just turned down her volume. So that certainly is really good for strengthening your skin internally, as well as you can also apply it, silica, to your skin, but it has to be it usually comes in powder format. And then you can put that, actually, I mix it into my lotion, into my moisture cream. I put a little bit, it's about 1%, not even 1%, I would say 0.5% into my cream, my face cream. And I use that, I apply that every day as well. I don't know if anything's actually absorbed. I don't think it's absorbed, but it does seem to help with the smoothness of the skin. So it's like combining mineral makeup with these skincare products, basically.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I've done a lot of combination of combining now. I have a product that is selling in the UK, with the company I make for. I private label, make products for companies. And it's an eye serum, it's an eye cream, basically, an eye lotion, and it has a seaweed extract in it. But we also put in there is like a violet color makeup. Goes in there, so it's slightly got a lilac look to it, a violet look, and it's for use around the eyes. So lilac around the eyes. If you've got any dark patches, it helps to deflect against those dark patches. And it helps to brighten the skin around the eyes. But it's not actually a makeup, it's just a slightly colored lotion. So it's a firming lotion cream. And it's for menopause. It's for menopause women, basically. The company's called Menopause.
I had to answer the phone at work, but I'll hopefully on the replay get to see what you said at the end.
Yeah, I will make sure you get this information.
Thank you.
So we're all across the pond here, basically. Everyone's coming from Canada or USA with one UK.
I'm also from Canada. So I'm in Calgary.
Yes, you got opposite sides. I love Calgary. I lived there for 6 months, so it was
I've never been to Canada.
it's a lovely place.
I'm planning to attend a conference in Edinburgh in May. Yes. So if you're likely to do any programs in that area, please, around that time, please let me know. I'd love to attend something live with you, Jan.
Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to be coming to the UK yet, because I took over a company 6 months ago, a makeup company, cosmetic company, and I'm really busy with that. So for me to take off, for me to go across to even the UK, at the
No,
moment
I
would be
could
great.
come to Amsterdam if you're doing
okay.
something,
Yeah,
you know.
I'm looking at putting, when are you thinking of coming over to Edinburgh?
Well, that course is end of May, I think, 19th, for about 5-6 days, and then I'll tour around a bit. And then, so either before or after, I could plan it.
Okay, because I was planning to offer some workshops in Winscoten, which is where I am now.
I see.
It's about a 3-hour trip from Amsterdam on a train. Pretty simple.
Okay.
And I was going to put a new schedule up for in-class workshops then for around the April-May mark.
Okay.
April, May, June. I haven't decided yet what dates they're going to be. So I'll keep that in mind. Probably the beginning of June would be good.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd always be nice to see people live. It's I'm just writing this down so I don't forget it.
Yeah. And my preference is May, not April end. My preference is May, not April end.
Yeah, I was going to say that's why I'll think of possibly the beginning of June, the first week of June would be good.
Perfect.
Because it's starting to get nice and warm here. It's a beautiful time to be in Europe as well.
Yes.
Beginning of June, it's the best time. It's always sunny and yeah. Whereas in Canada, it's still winter really in May.
Can be, yes,
Yeah.
can be. And when you do the workshop, then also give us suggestions on where to stay, how to.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we have hotels nearby.
Something very close by.
Yeah, we're within walking distance of a hotel, and because I'm in my town is a small, tiny town, but it's the second largest town in our province. So it's not a little town, but it's not less population. It's mostly surrounded by farms and small towns. But it's a nice, it's a cute little town. It's on the border of Germany. A lot of history.
Wow.
Yeah, so our center.
I love Europe.
Our center church is from 1100.
Wow. We may not leave you. We may just stay there. I love Europe. It just excites me.
Yeah, I wanted to get back to Europe. I loved Canada, but I hated Toronto. I really couldn't stand Toronto. So I was either going to, when I was going to move, I was either going to go to Calgary, or because that was one of my favorite places, or Europe. That was where I was planning. I wasn't sure which way to go.
Right.
And I went on a retreat to figure which way should I go, Calgary way or Europe way.
Excellent.
And Europe pointed, said hi.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So are there any other questions, anybody?
No.
Christine still has her
actually, I do have another question. This is amazing. So as you're talking, I keep thinking of questions. I have two, I think, at this point in time. True, it does happen. When I was in the 90s, I had seen a dermatologist and she put me on retinol, and it was a prescription at that time. Are you familiar with retinol?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I found out I love, the UK is so much further ahead than we are here in America. but I didn't realize that, you know, I wasn't supposed to be on it for very long. And you know what? I stayed on it for like 9 years, and which is not what you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
I came off of it immediately when I knew that. And I wanted your thought on that. And then what I've discovered now that I'm older and I go out in the wind, mostly wind, more so than even sun, I get very red. And I'm assuming that I've done a lot of damage to the skin layers. So that was kind of like, what is your thought? And like, how much damage did I do? Because I think I want to know the answer to that.
Well, you probably thinned
So
your
what do you
skin
think?
down quite a bit, just the same as if you had
Mm.
basically a peeling done, which means your skin is sensitive to a lot of things. So it'll be sensitive to chemicals, it'll be sensitive to things like the wind. So what you need to do is strengthen up your skin again, which is, again, liquid silica is good. Also applying products to your skin that are very gentle. So using a toning lotion that say contains pure hydrosols like Immortelle hydrosol or rose hydrosol, not the floral waters. I'm talking about pure hydrosols, which is the distilled version. And also to keep slightly acid products, pH balance on the skin, which is again your hydrosols. Not to put any oil on your skin either. I wouldn't suggest putting any heavy oils, anything like almond oil, any plant oils on your face. Unless it's a part of a cream, like a little bit of MCT oil from the coconut is good for the skin. It's anti-inflammatory
Right, I'm
to the
familiar
skin.
with that.
So you need to basically baby your skin and also protect your skin when you go out. And this is where actually mineral makeup does come in handy, especially if you put something that contains zinc oxide in, that helps protect your skin against the environment. And also zinc is very healing to the skin.
Thank you.
But don't put anything.
Excellent.
All mineral foundation is not the same. It's some of them have chemicals in again. So I do have some customers, like Lynn here. She'd been trying. They tried all eyeshadows. I have another customer, who she's trying my eyeshadows out at the moment because she can't put anything on around her eyes. And it's because of all the chemicals that they put into eyeshadows, even mineral makeup. They have a lot of chemicals in, and you will be very sensitive to those chemicals as well.
I am. I found out the hard way, actually, when I had my business and I was using organic essential oils or, you know, definitely pure essential oils. I ended up with a rash that was pretty hard to get. I'm well aware of chemicals at this state, and that's why I had my own. That's why I went the direction I went. I try to research and do the right thing for other people. I'm still learning, but yeah, I had a real bad reaction on my skin from not being well ventilated, which I am now. And so it took a couple of 3 years with going to an acupuncturist because I felt that was the way I needed to go. And it did help. In fact, it healed it, but it took a long time. And then I think you're probably getting, if not already, getting ready to close. I'm assuming liquid silica would also help with thinning of the hair now that I'm in my early 70s. I find that's happening. Would that be the right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I know you want to close. You got a busy
no, it's
life
okay.
too.
I'm just
But I thought this was amazing.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to put the next session on the 8th of January, I think it was, the 8th of January at about the same time. Well, I'm going to look at the timing because I'm going to check with people in Australia, see if we can make a time that I have a few customers in Australia and they like to join in as well. It's going to be on the Sunday, the 8th of January, the next session. And I will send, I keep the old invites, so I will send you an invite for the next session, and I will hopefully by tomorrow, even by this evening, I'll see if I can do the recording, just take off the real ending and the beginning just to make it look a little bit neater. and I will send you an invite for being able to access. I'll be putting it onto YouTube, but it'll be hidden from people unless they have access to it. You know what I mean?
Okay. And just one last question.
Yeah.
How much of zinc oxide, because I have some in the house, how much of it would you use in the product?
You mean in a foundation?
In any product for the skin, apart from sunscreen, where it might be more?
Yeah, you don't need a lot, very little. I'm trying to think, I haven't used it in a cream except as a foundation. And even then it's zinc doesn't make up most of the powder. So you're only talking a couple of percent.
Okay, one or two?
You're not talking about very much. Otherwise the cream is going to be too sticky.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to make something for of course, for sun thing, then you want to use a little bit, you want it to be a bit sticky. But then again, you've got to watch it because zinc can go a little bit whitish on the skin too.
Right,
So don't make it too strong
especially for us dark people.
Yeah. Yeah, you're okay with zinc per se, as long as it's not too high a percent. I mean, you just need to keep away from titanium dioxide if you're dark, because it will leave a
residue.
A grayish haze on the skin. Yeah.
Love you, Jen. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining in, and I'll see you next time, and have a great holidays. And
thank you.
Yes, and you too.
And great new year.